Diodes.
Write the illustration to make it larger. I could just simply go to the zoom feature and you could see the difference between the smaller text and of course the larger text. It makes it a lot easier for guys like me that wear glasses. The OEM schematic reference, if you're looking for information and you want to understand what's being represented by the schematic, shown here we have a classic example. Once again, I just used the Ford, and we have in the top component cell, which references the power distribution center or the battery. So someplace in the car, this voltage is originating hot at all times, and again, at the battery distribution center or at the power distribution center. Secondly, all of the switches, according to the explanation by Ford Motor Company, are drawn key off. You'll notice to the right of this box where it says 1 and 2, it says PowerPoint with a specific numeral reference, and then it says 1 off and 2 on. Mostly all schematics, when you read through the switches are drawn within the schematic key off, never key on unless they tell you that the key is on. So in this particular circumstance, the switches are drawn key off. Third, the internal name and function ID. Shown there, you're at the central junction box, which is labeled CJB, and Ford calls that 11-1. So it represents a specific point in the car, 11, and you're at the first terminal. 151.12 is a section on the car where that typically could be found. Component name and reference numbers indicate where you're at when you're looking at specific components. In this case, we're looking at the cigarette lighter, shown here as cigar lighter. It's in 151-10. You'll notice a second ago when I discussed the internal name and function of that power distribution center, it said 151-12. The 151-12 and 151-10, they're all part of the same circuit. Okay, continuing on with our process on the OEM reference schematic, you'll identify standard circuit numbers, global circuit numbers within the schematic, and of course now new global circuit numbers. So you have 3 different types of representations there, and don't forget, no matter where you are within the product, if you look over to the left-hand side of the schematic, there's obviously a legend there which indicates exactly what you're looking at based on those little radio numbers. The power flow, once again, goes from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock on the page. In the GM how-to section, if I went to where to find electrical schematics, you'll notice all I did was type in, air conditioning, and I'm looking for specific information on schematics within GM. On the table of contents, you have electrical schematic locations. In this one, we have how to use electrical schematics, and of course, General Motors just has a reference there for a horn circuit as an illustration, as an example. Shown there, we have connector end views, information about circuit descriptions. Once again, at the top, at the fuse box, where's the voltage coming from? It's coming out of the fuse, the 20 amp fuse, going into the convenience center in this case, going off in parallel to both the windings and the latch side of the relay, and to the horn button to basically energize the relay, and then to the horn circuit. Once that winding reference has been met, the latch circuit closes and the horns will sound. Traditionally in the past, when we were illustrating harness identification, you typically had a wire label number, a color code, and a wire size. In the last 5 to 10 years, the manufacturers have been giving specific reference as to where that harness is. The front of the car, the middle of the car, the back of the car, and so forth. If you'll notice the difference between the old format and the new format not only includes the wire label, but it also includes harness number 5 in harness H. Again, that is specific reference location on the vehicle. Together with that, we have the color code, in this case a pink wire, and then of course the wire size, which is an 18 gauge wire. Designating a wire by circuit number, harness, color, and diameter seems to be the new way the manufacturers wish to identify the harnesses and their respective locations within the vehicle.